Cranbrook International Airport is one of the coolest airports in Canada. Today, we'll be touring the airport to evaluate infrastructure, amenities, and all you need to know about small airports in Canada. So without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started, everybody. Welcome everybody to the Cranbrook Rocky Mountains International Airport. I hope all of you are excited to check out Cranbrook today, as it's a great example of what a small airport in Canada looks like, and this one is really unique, so it's going to be awesome to dive into all this, and I hope all of you are excited. But first and foremost, if you haven't checked out my videos of plane spotting here, along with the really cool B-17 and B-25 that I found here, definitely check those out when you get a chance, as they're really cool. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started with Cranbrook. So here's a really great picture that you can see right here, and as you can see, Cranbrook is quite a uniquely situated airport with regards to its landscape. So you can see here that it's kind of in this little valley between a whole bunch of mountain peaks, which is really cool. So they just have one runway. It's runway 16 and 34, and this runway is around 8,000 feet. This airport is about 3,000 feet above ASML, and it's definitely a really cool facility. So all the taxiways and all of the gates and all that are on the west side of the airport. As you can see here, there's only a handful of hangars. I think they only have about 6, 7, 8 hangars, so it's a pretty limited venue there, but the actual terminal facility is really nice. They have, I think, 3 or 4 gates, so you're going to see more of that here in a moment, but it's really cool, and overall it looks really great. So here's a really cool landscape view to kind of show you what it looks like. One very unique aspect of Cranbrook I want to establish first and foremost is that they're one of the few airports that I still know of that has a back taxi runway. So if you're unfamiliar with what that is, that's when an aircraft, as you can see this little private jet right here, or that's not private jet, the prop rather, as it goes all the way down the runway, and then we'll use this taxiway to turn around and then take off. This was a very unique concept that was developed when they wanted to save money on pavement and whatnot. Obviously it's not as common now, but Cranbrook still uses this principle, and one of the reasons why I really wanted to check out the airport when I was planning out my Pacific Northwest excursion. Here's what it looks like from above. Very similar view there. This is from the south looking north. Obviously, if you look at it like this, you have just the 2 taxiways here that make like a wide V shape, and obviously you have 4 places to back taxi here. One turn off here with the displaced threshold, one down here about 500 feet down runway 16. You have another one 500 feet there, and then you got one at the very end of runway 34, which is the one I used, and I'm excited to share that video with all of you. As you can tell, it's situated around pretty much a bunch of nothing. There's about 20 houses off there on the west side. Otherwise, it is just the airport, and there's one road to get in and one road to get out, so it's a pretty simple situation right there. Sorry that the zoom didn't zoom in very much. Let me see if I can zoom that in a little bit more for you all here. Can I not zoom in from here? Come on now. I thought I was going to be able to zoom it in easier than that. There we go. I can see why. It's a little pixelated. But anyway, this is a really awesome shot of the inside of the terminal building, which again, I think it's 3, it might be 4 gates. It's somewhere in that ballpark. But as you can see here, credit to all the respective photographers, but they redid the terminal facility in 2009. So this is what the inside of the terminal looks like. So it's a really nice modern design, kind of, you know, a little bit of Rocky Mountain vibe, but also, you know, modern vibe too. So you can see the glass, but then you see the wood elements, and there's some more distinctive features that I'll show you here in a moment. And then the right side, you know, it's more like a modern airport, right? So you see, you know, nice walls and adequate seating and all that. So again, this was in the late 2000s when they redid this airport, and it definitely looks really awesome. So for a few statistics here real quick to kind of break it up, in 2018 when the airport peaked with 184,000 passengers, and the latest information that I saw during my research was in 2022 when the airport served 138,000 passengers. So I'm assuming that they're probably pretty close, if not right back to their number of 185,000. So really cool to see that after the pandemic, and obviously it appears that Cranbrook's going in the right direction. And then here's another really good shot that I, for whatever reason, didn't zoom in, I guess because it's an older picture, but it's a really great shot to kind of show you what the inside of the gates look like. So you can see here, this is what a seating area looks like. They have pretty modern seating, along with still some of that Rocky Mountain vibe, but predominantly a modern feel. So you can see some wood over there for the benches over there, but then the overhead kind of looks, you know, it's just a little bit of both. So whoever did the architecture design definitely deserves a bunch of credit for kind of going for quite a few vibes here. You can see it as a Rocky Mountain airport, you could see it as just a normal modern airport. You know, it kind of reminds me of some of the airports in Montana that we'll evaluate later on my channel here. So there's certainly quite a bit of awesome architecture here, and they did a really good job. I like that, you know, marble fireplace over there as well, so that's cool. So there's definitely a bunch going on here, and all this looks really nice. Here's a really good shot here to kind of show you what the glass looks like overlooking the ramps. There's an older Saab 340 for Pacific Coastal Airlines, probably what turned into WestJet. But anyway, this is a good shot to kind of show you. There's gate 2. small podiums. You know, it's most of these Canadian airports that only have 4 or 5 gates are really basic. There's not going to be too much to them. Most of them are also ramp side as well, with all the Q400s, Saab 340s, Beechcraft aircraft, and other ones that just use ramps. So it's a pretty effective design. Most of these are also just one level as well. You know, I think even Victoria was just a one level airport, and they have like 15 gates. So it definitely shows you what these Canadian airports look like. You know, most of the US 4 or 5 gate airports, you know, they're about split. Some of them are only one floor, others do have 2 floors. So it just depends, but it is really cool to see these Canadian airports definitely exhibiting these unique characteristics. Let's see here. I also want to go over the air service. I'll have some more pictures coming up, but the air service is pretty basic here at Cranbrook. We have 2 destinations with service to Vancouver and Calgary. WestJet is the only airline that flies to Calgary. They fly with their Saab 340 aircraft. It has been Encore for a long time, but that will be, it's been WestJet Link for a long time, but that brand's going to be getting integrated into WestJet Encore, and that will begin on October 27th, 2024. So very soon. So very cool to see that for sure. Apparently Pacific Coastal Airlines has flown here in the past, as you can see by this picture, and they're also listed on the Wiki with service to Vancouver. I have not seen a service from them. I don't know if it's Saturday only or what the reason is, but I was there last year. I didn't see them any during that time, and I also looked recently to see what was going on, and I haven't seen them there either. So I don't know if it's just a couple of flights a season or what it is, but they have served here consistently in the past, so I'm not sure if they're just absent right now or what the reason is. If anybody knows, feel free to comment. But Pacific Coastal has had a presence here at one point or another with service to Vancouver as well, so it might just be a limited frequency. I'm not exactly sure. And then Air Canada Express operates service to Vancouver as well, which is what I flew in here. So yeah, really cool, and ultimately it's quite an awesome vibe. Stay tuned towards the end of the video when I'll explain why I chose to come to Cranbrook during my Pacific Northwest excursion. Here's a really good shot. These are start to become my shots. So this is mine. I know it's a little pixelated, but it's off a video, and it was filmed portrait by accident, so I had to do my best here on the crop. But anyway, it's still a really great looking facility here. This is on the east side of the building, and you can definitely tell how nice it is. So that's pretty cool. And then let it load here. Sorry, kind of gets behind a little bit. There was also a Pacific Coastal counter, so it might just be a couple services a week. I'm not exactly sure. I might even look here at the end of the video just to answer my own question, but it's just interesting to think about, you know, why they wouldn't have a daily service here. It might just be twice a week. I don't know. But anyway, they do fly to Vancouver out of that south complex. Here's the unique characteristic I was talking about. So they do have the Grizzly Bear in here, which I thought was pretty interesting. So cool to see that one along with the smaller one as well. So they definitely have some nice features to give Cranbrook at least a little bit of flavor. You can only do so much for a 4-gate airport, but they have it going here. So that's really cool. Also, another really fun fact is that the operator of Cranbrook International Airport is actually Elevate Airports Incorporated, which is really cool to see some of these smaller airports operated by companies like Elevated Airports. I'm not very familiar with them or, you know, companies like that, but I'm sure it's really cool. So that's definitely awesome to think about. It's also worth noting that the owner is the city of Cranbrook, as you would expect. Okay, so here's what the cafe looked like. Unfortunately, it was closed on this day, which was a little bit of a bummer because dinner ended up being a vending machine. But yes, they do have this cafe here. Hopefully they've got it open again since I've been there. But yeah, as you can tell, it does look pretty nice. They just obviously, hopefully it will be open going forward. But anyway, yeah, that was closed when I was there, but hopefully it's back to being open. So they do have a cafe along with some vending machines for their amenities in that department. As of for the check-in area, this is what it looks like. It's very basic. Air Canada has 2 podiums. Pacific Coastal does have their one, so they probably have some sort of presence. I guess it must just be a couple times a week, but I'll look at the end of the video. But there's them, and WestJet, of course, over there as well. So not too much activity here besides when the flights come in. So speaking of which, let's talk about the frequencies. WestJet has consistently operated 3 flights a day here from Calgary for a very long time, along with 1 flight a day over to Vancouver. So it's been cool to see their presence for sure. And then Pacific Coastal, again, we're about to find out. And then Air Canada was flying 1 daily service when I flew this last summer, and recently they've been doing 2 daily flights. So it appears to be that Cranbrook has definitely picked up a substantial frequency there, adding another flight to Vancouver on Air Canada. So safe to say the commitment has been strong here, and it's awesome to see these airlines doing really well here with the Cranbrook market. Probably a similar concept for the rest of the smaller airports in Canada as well. Here's what the outside of the airport looks like. Really great wood design, but again, it kind of feels modern, you know, so it's a little bit of all of it, but then you got the wood benches and all that. So it's cool to see all the variety. Also note that little complex over there on the left that has the wood on it. So probably leans a little bit more toward the Rocky Mountain vibe, but also, you know, you could definitely make an argument for it being modern. So I really like it, and I think it's definitely a really stunning airport. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And there's probably our captain, first officer, getting ready to take us over to Calgary momentarily. And here's what the baggage claim looks like. They have 2 baggage claims. It's a very simple facility here, so not too much to report on. But yeah, they're definitely nice to look at. This is the most dated part of the airport for sure, but not many people over here, obviously, besides when you're getting your luggage. Even though on most of these planes, you know, you might just get it right off the plane, Beechcrafts and all of that, so may not even be an issue anyway. And here's just some notices here that WestJet had on their podium, so definitely interesting to note that. And then lastly, I have a couple of security shots here so you can kind of see what it looks like. So as you can tell, pretty simple, just a little security screening area here. You just put it on the on-ramp, then it comes down the down-ramp. So pretty simple, not too much to evaluate on that, but overall, still looking pretty good nevertheless. So all that looks really nice. And I also found some really good pictures online, so I wanted to show you those after I put that presentation together. So here's the services here. I know it's the wiki, but unfortunately, there's not too much in regards to the sources here for Cranbrook, but again, it's operated by Elevated Airports Incorporated, which is quite helpful. It's an 8,000-foot runway there. Once again, there's the passenger numbers. And then, yeah, I'm going to have to figure out what's going on with the Pacific Coastal Service because I'm pretty interested with that. But anyway, still looking really good right there. And then here's some really cool pictures that Cranbrook Tourism put here on their website, so you can kind of see what the airport looks like. And there's a really good shot down that main hallway there. It's a really nice facility for sure. There's the picture that you saw earlier, and there is the seats a little bit closer up. And there's a really good shot with the backdrop. Again, it's in this valley, which makes the approaches really cool. We did the circle to land on the Air Canada flight. That was absolutely wonderful. But you can see here how the planes dock up with the GPUs and all that. So it's definitely really helpful. And the landings and takeoffs are spectacular, along with any views out of this airport, especially if you're going to Calgary. The views on that route are just tremendous until you get to the Flatland, Alberta, which is, you know, perfectly fine for what it is. But I could have went to Medicine Hat to do these connections here on WestJet and Air Canada, but Cranbrook was definitely the cooler airport. There's no doubt about it. So glad to make the right choice on that one. And there's the Pacific Coastal shot one, the feature there with how nice it was. This is probably a November shot or so, October and November with the clear skies. But as you can tell here, really nice there. Dead grass, but still looking really great. Who knows, maybe February or March, I don't know, but it's a really gorgeous shot, whatever the case is. So that's really nice. So those are all those shots. And then also there's some cool pictures here on Google that you can kind of see. Here's kind of what the airport looks like. I don't know where Calgary came into the picture here, but it is here. And there's quite a few flight simulator shots when I was looking this up too, so I thought that was kind of funny. In fact, there's kind of a teaser to the B25 and B17 we saw in that video, so definitely check that out. So that's pretty cool. But they had some really cool aircraft like the Aerofly 737 in there, and I think there was the C-130 right there, yeah. Even Air North 737-500, whether it was the diversion or not, I'm not sure. And yeah, that is literally the exact route that I did if this flight's from a load. Vancouver, Cranbrook, Calgary. So this one's the longer one. It's about an hour and a half, while Cranbrook to Calgary is like 45 minutes. So it's a pretty easy hop right there. But yeah, definitely really great views here, and all this looks really great. What I did want to check on real quick was I'm just going to look up Pacific Coastal, not the route map. That video has been posted, so definitely check that one out. But I want to see if Cranbrook's even listed as a destination here and what's going on. So let's go ahead and jump into this real quick. So let's go from YVR over to Cranbrook. See, that's the deal. It's not even listed. So did I do it wrong maybe? So I don't know what their status is at the airport, but as you can tell, it's not even listed. So if anybody knows what's going on at Cranbrook for Pacific Coastal, let me know. But it's been like that for a year, so I don't know if they're here, if they're coming back, if they plan to resume, whatever the case is. And I'll even try the airport code just in case, but I think they are currently not at Cranbrook Airport. So anyway, with that being said, I really hope all of you enjoyed this video. It was so cool to get to check out what the airport landscape looks like here, and ultimately it is a super nice airport. So yeah, really awesome to cover it, and it was so awesome that this airport worked out to get the Air Canada Dash 8 along with the WestJet Saab 340. Medicine Hat was the only other one that would have worked well for the layover time. I think it was like a 3-hour layover, but Medicine Hat's over there southeast of Calgary, and it's just flat land. There's not too much to evaluate there, whereas this airport with the approach and the hills and the views definitely made it worth coming to Cranbrook. So I was super happy with this layover. It was a super awesome time, and again, check out that video on the B17 and B25 for our activity during it pretty much, which was so much fun. Along with the plane spotting there, I know the plane spotting was pretty light, but of course it was still worth evaluating considering how cool it was. So Cranbrook, it's a really cool airport. It'll definitely hold a special place in my heart, very similar to an airport like Shreveport, Louisiana, or Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or one of those, obviously. But yeah, it's a really cool facility, a very nice little airport, and it was so awesome to check it out. What an awesome time, and definitely was meant to be for all of those reasons. So I hope all of you enjoyed the Cranbrook assessment. If you have any questions, comment below. But it's a really cool airport, and if you're ever in that area, Vancouver, Calgary, and wanting some cool flights, doing the Air Canada Dash 8 and the WestJet Saab 340 are super fun, and I can't recommend them enough. With all that being said, that'll do for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to thank each and one of you for watching. My name is Redriveraviation. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe. Trust the process. Do you love and love what you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.